Welcome to Dr. Kush's Exotic Drinks. I'm, of course, Dr. Kush, along with my barback Kyle. I'm not a real doctor, but I did spend almost 2 decades running some of LA's best bars. After years of teaching classes and training bartenders, I want to demystify the cocktail world for you. Let's try a few new things as I open up my bar to everybody. Belly up, chat, and let's have a drink. All right, everybody, welcome to Dr. Kush's Exotic Drinks. I am Dr. Kush. Yay! All right. I have just been hanging out with my friends, all of my friends that joined the show early. Davey Virtue snuck in. I didn't hand out the thing, but apparently that same code works all the time. So Davey was able to see me singing to myself a little bit, a little Tom Waits. So that's all right. We're going good. But it was nice. I got a second to chat with everybody. If you want to show up a little early to the show, I will open up the bar to you guys to come in and sit and chat and ask questions and hang out, etc., etc., etc. We are good to go. Let me just first of all address some things. Yes, brand new shirt. I got a new shirt. I was told, I don't know if this is actually a word. I was called bummy. Somebody that I know said, you're looking a little bummy. You look a bit like a bum. And you can't teach Tiki Oasis seminars looking like a bum. So where do we go today? Nordstrom Rack. And we bought a shirt that has pineapples on it. And I got a haircut. So it's full. I think I heard earlier over here. Total Tiki chaos. Tiki Oasis chaos over here. Yes, we are deep in Tiki Oasis chaos. We are going live here on Sunday. You guys don't need to move. Most of you don't need to move. You can just go to youtube.com/@kushtender and watch my Tiki Oasis seminar live from Tiki Oasis in San Diego. But for those of you that are joining us, this is great. We are going to have a ton of fun. Today, I have been, I just kind of want to go over some notes that I'm doing for my Tiki Oasis. So I'm dealing with a part of my seminar that is, in my opinion, it's the most undercooked part of the speech that I'm giving. So I figured, why not do a little research on that today and then take what I've been learning in all this research and sort of shove it into the class that I'm doing today. I kill 2 birds with 1 stone, I believe is the phrase, and that's what we're doing today. We're going to be making a spectacular cocktail. Perhaps, I think you could argue that without the Gin Sling, we might not see other Tiki cocktails. Now, we might have. It's tough to say, the butterfly effect. A butterfly flaps its wings, and suddenly there I am drunk on a bathroom floor, having had 14 different puka punches because I didn't realize they were that strong. I blame that on the butterfly. But it's tough to tell whether one thing would have happened without the other thing. But the Gin Sling, specifically the Gin Sling, has an awful lot to do with modern Tiki drinks, which is why we are doing this on a Tiki Tuesday. But speaking of Tiki Tuesday, let me say hello to all the people. Tiki Tuesday, our most popular day of the week. So that is fun that you guys are just hanging out on a Tuesday. Let me say hello to our good friend, Davey Virtue, 2,000 subscriber. And also, he has keys to the bar currently. Snuck in while I was singing. Got to see me sing a little bit. Always love that. He was asking me about this gift. Did I even go over this thing? This is a gift that Bon Bon sent to me a little while ago. This is our bar mat. Sits proudly right up here at the front. So if anybody sits at the bar, I can put their drink right on a bar mat. Let me say hello to our good friend, Moose. If you want to know what link to follow to get into the live stream, still in there is Moose. Moose is still in there, but it's right there. I usually just drop it right in the front, right up on top, and you guys can follow that link, pop right in. You don't need to download anything. You just need to turn your camera on, or you know what? Don't turn your camera on. It doesn't matter. I don't. As long as there's less than 10 people, we are good to go. Let me say hello to Amy Beer. Amy Beer is here, ready for a little cheer. Amy, I'm going to get your whole rhyme right at some point, but currently I don't have it. Here's Kyle with the tiki 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 taka 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 taka. Kyle is here. Did I say that? Yeah, I did. Let me say hello to Cocktail Lulu. Very happy Tiki Tuesday. Yes, I see. I'm talking on chatting in YouTube. David Virtue was. Well, I was wondering how everybody knew we were talking about Tiki Tatsuya. And of course, it's because Davey was chatting. Don't worry about that. It's a whole situation. Let me say hello to our winner of the 2023 Kush Tucky Derby, DCW Clark. Let me say hello to Shawnee Pandabaker. Shawnee Pandabaker is here and ready to go. Been following the adventures of Shawnee Pandabaker over on Instagram. Follow Shawnee Pandabaker over on Instagram. Shawnee, please post your the name of your Instagram, and then everybody that doesn't follow him, follow him. It's important. Very happy birthday. Sorry, very happy Tuesday. Nobody's birthday. Is there somebody's birthday today? Tell me. To Scotty DeBoy. Good to see you, Scotty DeBoy. Always a pleasure. Never a chore. Let me say hello to Stephanie Husband and Michael Husband, winners of the 2024 Kush Tucky Derby. Tiki Tom Hubbard is in the house, ready to go. Tiki Tom, hope to see you on Sunday at youtube.com/@Kush, at Dr. Kush at 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. East Coast time, and then any time in between there, you're gonna have to figure that out. Let me say hello to Dougie G. Dougie G is what happened to Dougie G? There we go. Dougie G is going to be hanging out with me all this weekend. We are very excited to see Dougie G. The countdown has started. We have one more day where we aren't hanging out at the bar. We're gonna have to go somewhere else to do something. About a couple bottles of Deadpool gin. I'm gonna have to look into this recipe. I have to use this recipe. What is Deadpool gin? Oh my goodness, so much we don't know. Go live on Instagram. Thank you. We are live on Instagram. Let me say hello to all of my people watching on Instagram. There are. Let me see if we're breaking any records over on Instagram. There could be up to. Oh well. Don't worry about it. There could be up to 2 people watching on Instagram. Not like a world record or anything. Oh, there's 4 people watching on Instagram. Hello, people watching on Instagram. We love to see it. Kim K, we're about to see Kim K. Who else we got? Oh, Batopia is here with the GEA. Good evening, all. Come to Austin. Yes, Kyle, we should get Kyle to Austin. Absolutely, no doubt about it. Would love to have Kyle hanging about in Austin. He'd probably get lost and overheated. It's very hot and very muggy in Austin. That's what I know about it. And also, Kyle lives an alternative lifestyle. We know that. He dresses all the time in a full bodysuit and is in love with oranges. That is as alternative as it gets. And, Texas. What do I know about Texas? Thank you for the nice haircut comments. The UF Mark, our resident gator, is giving me those. Sorry, not bummy. She said I looked schlubby. Schlubby. I looked schlubby. And schlubs are not allowed to give speeches at Tiki Oasis. But that is what we are doing on Friday. Aviation gin owned by, Mr. Pool. Oh, I see. Aviation gin. That makes sense. Okay. Deadpool's made by Aviation, just a marketing ploy. Oh, okay. Well, hey, listen. Yeah, because Ryan Reynolds did own Aviation for at least a while. I don't know if he still does. Let's chat about something. Let me just say, Kyle Tender says, they will love me there in Austin with your alternative lifestyle of wearing a full hazmat suit and being in love with trees. Slubs are in fabric. I'm feeling very fabricy. Okay. There's only 27 of you in here right now, and that is good. On Sunday, I'm giving a speech to 120 people about using the formula for punch in order to make every single tiki cocktail. Now, of course, that isn't the exact case. That's not how it really works. There are tweaks and twicks and twabs that sort of go in between. We can, of course, adjust a little bit up here, adjust a little bit up there, and we can make a cocktail even better, or even not even better, but more towards our taste, right? However, if we look at the structure of almost every tiki cocktail, with a huge exception, and that exception is, of course, the very annoying Mai Tai. The Mai Tai is not a punch. The Mai Tai is what's called a daisy. We're going to skip that for later. We'll do daisies after the summer of punch. Um, However, there is going to be a formula in order to at least have a running start at making just about every tiki cocktail, because tiki cocktails are descendants of the punch. Punches were large-scale cocktail, large-scale drinks that you made in big batches, usually and almost always with some lemon, some oleosaccharum, some sugar, a lot of booze, some water, and sometimes some sort of bitters like tea, or some sort of bitters like carbonic acid from adding things like champagne. Those were ways that would make it. However, we've been to tiki bars, and almost all the drinks are not served in large formats. Almost all the drinks are served in single format. And that single format actually has a name, and it has a bit of a history to it. And that history will lead us to something called a sling. It's called a sling. Slings, at first, for some reason, they were. I'm trying to memorize this phrase, but it's like the vulgar naming of a drink that you drink. Okay, fine, whatever. Sling comes from the German word Schlingeren, Schlingling, some German word. I spoke German. Ich kann ein bisschen Deutsch sprechen. I'm pretending. I'm putting a little English on this German ball. It's called Schlingen, Schlingeren, whatever it means. It means to swallow, and it means to swallow it quick. Booze has not always been very good. Booze has, for a long time, has been incredibly bad, very, very famously bad. And so to drink just straight booze would take some manpower. It would really take a little bit of time for you to sit there and drink those booze. So what did people do? They started doing two things. They would start putting in a little sugar and a little bit of water. Little sugar and a little water, and that would not only dilute the booze a little bit, but also sort of sweeten it so it was a little easier. A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. I bet that was more for booze than it was for like Robitussin kind of stuff. So anyway, these little slings, that's what they call them, little shooters, little basically shots, sort of hung around for a little bit, and then they adapted, just like everything did. Like the fancy cocktail, to make a cocktail fancy, eventually you got called a daisy because of a game of telephone. Fancy, 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 daisy, 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 daisy. We've heard that before. So for a while, they were bittered slings, and a bittered sling is an old-fashioned. All you're doing is taking that same stuff, the booze, the sugar, the water, and you're adding some bitters to it. Now you got a bittered sling. That's one of the first things that we ever called a cocktail, right? The first thing we ever called the cocktail probably might have been a whiskey sling or a brandy sling. That becomes a deeply American thing, this sling, because it's single format, and who in the world is making these things? Americans. And how come? Ice. Because Americans are making the ice. We have these little ice machines. We now have ice. We can put ice in a single format drink. Each drink can have its own ice. It's not one large chunk of ice that we have to crack off. We have single serving ice. The Americans are doing this for a while, but what happens? The British come around. Obviously, if something good is happening, suddenly the British show up. And the British love two things, right? The British love two things. The British love gin, and the British love colonizing things. So that's what they did. They brought their gin, they took this sling, and they sort of changed it a little bit, and they made it into a gin sling, right? They also then took this gin sling, brought it everywhere, and let everybody else, all these colonized places, sort of deal with it. That's how we get to the Singapore sling. That's not important for right now. I want to deal with what the English actually did with the sling, which started off as sugar, water, and booze, but was single format. We started off with a punch. The British did what they do, and the British invented the punch. The British did what they did, and they made these individuals. So we're going to be making a gin sling. Let me answer a couple questions. Are Americans the only people that love ice? Americans, I don't know if we're the only people that love ice, but Americans certainly enjoy ice very, very much. If you go anywhere else in the world, if you ask for a Coca-Cola, you're going to get almost no ice. They just don't do ice everywhere. If you ask for water at a French restaurant in France, very little ice is ever coming your way. Americans, we love ice. We created the ice. So that's why the sling took off in the United States. We were able to get ice in here. That's that. And Bon Bon loves ice as well. Okay. Let's make a gin sling. So this is basically the English doing the only thing that they know how to do with cocktails. That's a hyperbole, obviously. But they take what the Americans started, this sling, and they throw it into their formula, which is punch. And we get something kind of interesting. From here, this travels all over the place, eventually to Singapore, where our good friend Don Beach is able to go to Singapore, try this very famous Singapore sling, or the straight sling, or just a Singapore gin sling. He's able to try this, and I can only imagine. I wasn't there. Nobody was there. There's a chance that Don Beach didn't even exist. Who knows? But what Don was able to see was that, oh my gosh, there's so much more I can do with this. So let's make a gin sling. It is incredibly simple, and it follows all of our punch rules. We're going to start over here with DC Debbie Clark's Martin Miller's gin. Oh my God. Oh. I love Martin Miller gin. We're going to go ahead and put in 2 ounces of some gin. Now, this is where the thing falls apart. Because this is a punch, we're going 1 of sour, 2 of sweet, 3 of strong, 4 of weak, and a little spice to make it all nice. If you want in this cocktail, you can throw 2.5 ounces of some gin. All right, this cocktail will accommodate 2.5. If you want to go crazy, you could probably put 3. You'll be fine. But 2.5 ounces will be fine. We're putting 2 ounces of some gin. So that is our strong. That is our 3 of strong right there in the British tradition of the East Indies. The British were making this punch and they were hanging out. We're going to take this lemon right here. The Brits and their lemons, Brits and their limes, they were all over the place. We want some sour in here. Grab a little bit of this. We need 1 part of this to be citrus. So we're going to go ahead and put in 1 ounce of citrus juice. For this one, I think it works best if you're doing lemon. So 1 ounce of lemon juice. It's pretty darn good. Save that for later. Right there. Okay. 1 of sour, that's lemon. 2 of sweet, we need 2 of sweet. Now, we're not going to just be doing sweet. We're going to be doubling our sweet. So we want to find 2 different sweeteners. All right, 2 different sweeteners. And I happen to have 2 great ones for this cocktail. Also, one of them will bring some of our spices. But let's start with the easy one. We're going to reach in here. Ooh, just enough. We're going to reach in here and grab our, this is called simple syrup. It's called simple syrup. It's just equal parts sugar and water. That's all there is to it. You want to put in more stuff in there? That's fine. You want to do 2 to 1. You have to adjust some of my recipes. But 1 to 1, sugar to water, super easy, ready to go. We need 1 ounce of this. What this is going to be doing is starting to counteract some of our lemon. I lived in a place called Granada, Spain for a while. If you've talked to me for any amount of time, you will know that I have lived in Europe for a while, and some of my favorite times on Earth were when I was living in Europe. And I lived with for a while there, one of the people that lived in the hostel that I was running, who was working the hostel with me. She was English, and she would make lentil soup, and in her lentil soup, she would put sugar. I don't understand it. It's like the English don't want to have good food. It's like they're so close to all of the good food in the world, right? They're right near France, right under the Channel. Italy's right there. I mean, even Germany. You ever had a schnitzel? You ever had a schnitzel? Freaking delicious. You ever had a strudel? Germans do good food. The Portuguese do good food. Greeks do great food. They're right there. The English refuse to do good food. Either way, that I do think is where we get so much sweet, double the sweet to the sour in a lot of this stuff. Again, I don't know. I'm just taking guesses. Okay, we have 1-to-1 sour to sweet in here, but we need 2-to-1 sour to sweet. We don't want to overdo it with just adding way more sugar. So instead, we're going to add something sweet, but also something that's sweet, but also has some spices. Why? Because the last part of the punch, this little guy, let me just remind you of this little guy. Oh, not there. This little guy, remember him? That's a little spice to make it all nice. Let me just say hello real quick. This is my old friend, Jason Buckner. Went to school with Jason Buckner. He's watching us over on Facebook. Jason, if you want to jump over on YouTube, you can see what everybody's saying. But if not, stay on Facebook. Good to see you, pal. Always a pleasure, Jason Buckner. Never a chore. Okay, this right here is called sweet vermouth. Now, sweet vermouth is, yes, it's a wine. It's a fortified wine, though. It's a fortified wine that has some spices added to it, right? Fortified wine has some spices added to it. So by just adding this, you are technically getting into, or at least close to, a punch. So we're going to do that. Nice and easy. Go ahead and pop this off right here. We need 1 full ounce of some sweet vermouth. Find something interesting. Find a sweet vermouth that is interesting. This, my friend Trevor Kriz is now saying it's a high school reunion here at Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks over on Facebook. I'm hosting we're hosting a high school reunion. So if you did go to Thunderbird High School in North Phoenix, Arizona, pop on over to Facebook. I guess that's where we're meeting. This would be my 24th high school anniversary. Is that what it's called? Anniversary? Either way. Get yourself some. So this is Carpano Antiqua, one of my favorites. Vermouths. We're going to go ahead and throw a little bit of this, 1 ounce of some sweet verm. Easy peasy. So now what we have, 1 of sour, that's 1 ounce lime. 2 of sweet, that's 1 ounce simple syrup, 1 ounce sweet vermouth. We have up to 2.5 ounces, which counts as 3 in our book. We at Thunderbird High School, where I went to, we weren't big on math. Come on, what are we, math people? Stop it. We're cowboys, or I don't know what we did. I didn't really fit in. Okay. Next, we got to throw a little bit of extra bitters in here. Not necessary if you don't want to, but if you're gonna make a tiki cocktail and you need a little bitters, this stuff is the best. It looks more like, well, this is a bottle from Bon Bon, but this is Angostura bitters from Trinidad and Tobago. It is a incredibly tropical ingredient, despite the fact that everybody uses it for things like Manhattans and old fashions. It is very tropical if you really break it down to what it is. We're gonna go ahead and put in about 3 dashes of some Angostura bitters. So hit that. I know I said 3. I put in 6. It's a half dasher. Lots and lots of ice, my friends. Lots and lots of ice. Let me just pop down here. Lots and lots of ice, okay? Lots and lots of ice. We want extra ice in here because we want to control how much water gets into our cocktail. The more ice you have in here, the more control you have over this. David is asking, David, please remind me to answer this question, post-class question. How do you balance a drink that is too limey? I will answer that for you. There are a couple ways. We're going to go ahead and give this a big squeeze. We want to give this a shake. It doesn't need to be shaken to death, right? We're going to serve this over fresh ice, so that's fine. We just want to give this a little shake, sort of wake it up. Crack this open. Pull one of these. Love that move. Always looks so pro. And then we're going to grab some of this. This right here is called sody water. Sody water. It does not have to be flavored soda water. In fact, better if it's not, but I don't carry. At this bar, we do not carry non-flavored soda water. We like our soda water with a little flavor. We're trying to watch our figures. So we try as much as we can to drink flavored soda water, which is, and I will say, horrible. It is horrible, tastes like death, and it makes me want to quit. But we do it because our figures. We want 2 to 4 ounces of this, 2 to 4 ounces. Not a lot, depending on how strong you want your drink, but please remember, you want to put some soda water in here. I'm putting 2 ounces. Let me say hello to the low carb cocktail guy. If you have a chance to check out the low carb cocktail guy's cocktail, and you are also like us over here at Dr. Kush's Exotic Drinks, watching your figure. The low carb cocktail guy is on a mission to make every great cocktail, but he wants to make it low carb. I think he's doing a great job. So we're in luck. Let me say hello to D Dunkley. Nice pineapple shirt. Where'd you get it? Nordstrom Rack. No big deal. I mean, watching our figure, watching our pocketbooks. We are on top of it. Davey Virtue says Topo Chico is the best bubbly water. I would agree. I would agree. I think that it is also the best bubbly water, but I don't drink bubbly water by itself. I do drink Waterloos by themselves when I can. Go ahead and pour this. We have our soda water in here now. We're gonna go ahead and pour this right into our glass. Look at that wash line. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. That, my friends, that's a good omen. That's a good omen. We have a big weekend ahead of us. We are speaking to at least 120 people this weekend at the San Diego Tiki Oasis. We need good omens. Garnish. Meet me at this camera. Garnish. Stop it. For this drink, no garnish. We don't need garnish on this. I don't think just stop it. With this drink, if you want to throw the spent lime in there or the spent lemon, fine. But I don't think that it's important that we throw any extra garnish in there. So what do we have in here? 1 of sour, lime juice, lemon juice, 2 of sweet. We have 2 different sweeteners, each at an ounce. We have 3 of strong. That is, of course, the gin that we put in there, as well as some of that sweet verm, which, remember, even though it takes a long time to get drunk on it, you can get drunk on vermouth. Let's meet up here. You can get drunk on vermouth. It's not easy, but it is possible. So, and the little spice coming from that, plus the 2 different bitters we have in here are carbonic acid that comes from CO2, and we have Angostura bitters, and we are really in there. Thank you, Shiny Panda Baker. As tight as the new hair. Thank you. I just got it cut and took a shower. Oh boy, I am like a. Don't tell anybody that fell out. I'm like a new man. I'm like a brand new papa. Somebody called me. I had a friend of mine, Ryan. He said I might be a zaddy, and then I had to look up what a zaddy was, and I was equally appreciative and horrified. Something that we don't do enough as bartenders, I feel, is work with vermouth. Vermouth is such an amazing, amazing ingredient. We should do an entire just section on vermouth cocktails. Vermouth extends a drink. It makes the drink, so instead of having to put a ton of booze in there, you can put vermouth and extend the whole thing. Now it's a sipper. You went from like a ooh to a Those aren't words. I was fairly onomatopoeic there, but we have a bunch of good stuff in here with the vermouth. A lot of big flavors come from vermouth rather than just adding wine to something. It absolutely adds to it. And also, if you try this out, if one of you at home is brave enough, shut up. One of you is brave enough to make this one, you can absolutely see, that this is where tiki drinks began. There is a lot of interesting tropicalness to this. It feels like you are sitting on a beach somewhere. It feels like it's perfect for warm weather. That vermouth hits it so hard and delicious and ready to go. Now, I have to answer this real quick because this is something that I have to remember for this Sunday. I always thought of soda water was dilution, not a bitter. Yes, so soda water is a dilution. It is always, of course, one of the 4 of weak, but just adding water to something is straight dilution. Adding soda water, or even better, hitting it with straight carbonization, so hitting it with CO2 and letting the bubbles get in there and sort of futz around and do their little dance instead of a drink, that is going to be bittering. It's going to add some bittering to it. Carbonic acid is a bitter. That is why we see all the time that champagne works so well inside of cocktails, inside of punches. I mean, inside of old-timey punches, you pour 4 bottles of champagne into one of those large format punches. It's because that bittering was so gosh darn important. Yes. Let me say, first of all, let me say hello to our good friend Loriander, who is, I believe it is 3 a.m. His time. He is up. We work even less with sherry and port, which is sad. Yes. I think that wine, the heck was that? My computer crapped out for a second. I think working with fortified wines is a well underutilized skill in bartending. I don't see a lot of bartenders ever reach for vermouth. During the 1980s, we went insane. There was, is my dad in here? I don't think he is. If he is, I'll talk to him. Let me talk to him. He would order a martini and he would say, and it's kind of cute. He would say, I want a dry martini. So dry, in fact, that I want you to open up a bottle of vermouth in the next building over, and that's as much vermouth as I want. Which, while that starts to sound sophisticated, oh, who's this sophisticato? Oh, is this part of the Illuminati? Is he a professor somewhere? Who is this man with all of this knowledge of vermouth? It started to make people sound so impressive when they did that, that suddenly vermouth became incredibly vilified. There's a great book. Dang, it would be so cool if I could just reach for it. It's called Martini, and it is spectacular about the rise and fall of vermouth and how the martini came about. Anyway, vermouth became so very vilified that we just see vermouth as like this garbage extra. Vermouth is very important. Sherry and port, the exact same thing. If you're ever looking for a fun bitter to put into a cocktail or to just add some interesting flavor to a cocktail, obviously get your gang of bitters together, your rhubarbs and your lemons and your mint bitters, all that stuff, your peychaud's, etc. But definitely also find some vermouths that you like, because in the end, this stuff, I love it more than anything. Okay. I like the citrus that Lillet adds more than vermouth. Yeah, well, let's just say Lillet is a form. It's a. I don't want the internet to come down on me hard. Let's be fair. The internet isn't watching this. Lillet and vermouth are at least cousins. They are very, very. They are both fortified wines. So yes, the citrus, of course, the cinchona is what Lillet is made out of. Cinchona, the same stuff they make tonic out of. It's a cinchona infused fortified wine. That's the way that it goes. I've lost my train of thought. Anyway, yes, Lillet is delicious. Just find some delicious vermouths that you like, throw them in there, and you will have an instant punch. I think we've done it, guys. We did 30 minutes on one drink. Tomorrow is the last day. Tomorrow is the last day before I pack up my bags and head out to San Diego Tiki Oasis. We will be doing our very best to go live from various points there, maybe just from a phone, etc. So if you are interested in just sort of watching what I am up to this week, follow me on YouTube, and next to my name, there should be a little bell. Hit that bell. If you hit that bell every time I go live over this next week, it'll alert you. Now, maybe you are able to watch, maybe you aren't, but it'll at least tell you, hey, maybe you can. And hang out. This is weird. How did we get Troy here? Did Troy just sort of show up? Does Troy really just watch the show, not say anything, but wait till everybody talks about Troy? Did Troy talk any time before here? It's good to see you, Troy, first of all. Always a pleasure, my friend. Never a chore, but wow, Troy really came through. Anyway. Follow me on youtube.com/@DrKush. We'll be going live a lot this week at different things. Hopefully, I'll be able to interview some people as we go. This will be big. I wasn't going to go live tomorrow. I told my producer I wasn't, but then I started doing it today, and it's my favorite thing that I do. So we'll probably go live tomorrow. If we don't, I will let everybody know. But we will be going live on Saturday. We will have a roundtable of a number of frequent Dr. Kush's Exotic Drink Big 30 people that are heading out to San Diego Tiki Oasis. And we will also be going live Sunday, 12 p.m. Pacific time from Ballroom C at the Town and Country where Tiki Oasis will be held. That will be where my seminar is. If you guys could watch that, that would be spectacular. If you are able to come and hang out, that would be even better. I believe there might be still tickets available to my conference. If not, if you just happen to be coming to San Diego anyway, give me a little jingle and maybe I can get you in. But either way, that is what I got. Jen said, Fiskum says, oh boy, which usually means I said something wrong. Uh-oh. Well, either way. As always, guys, you guys are the greatest. Koki and a white Negroni. Need that recipe. Yes, Koki and a white Negroni. Koki and a white Negroni. Absolutely Koki and a white. Only Koki and a white Negroni. You're going to need to get some of that bitters. What would they call it? Something bitter. It's white bitter. It's like a Campari, but it's bitter. Troy says, San Diego. That's Spanish. We all know what that's Spanish for. Americano white. Yeah. Okay. That's what I got for you guys. Oh, starting to get nervous. Hopefully you guys are doing great. We will see. Suze is the word I was looking for. Hopefully you guys are doing great. And we will see you tomorrow, most likely. I will let you know if not. For the last home game of the Summer of Punch, and then we will have our last two away games for the Summer of Punch at San Diego Tiki Oasis. I'm nervous. I even got my own shirt. That's what I got for you guys. As always, thank you so much for joining. We will see you guys soon. If you can help out the channel, help out the channel. If you can't help out the channel, just show up. You guys know the rules. Until then, remember, what do we do here? We drink and we say nice things, and I will see you guys. If not tomorrow, we will see you back at the bar at Saturday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Good night. I want these credits to roll. First of all, let me just say real quick, you guys have been so generous that now all of your names don't fit in the time that the song has to play in my little thing. So we're gonna run these one more time so that everybody can be seen. Oh yes. Oh gosh, David's question. One second. If you guys are all just hanging out anyway, let me answer David's question. Can we remind David? Will you please remind me what your question is, Davey? Can somebody remind me what Davey's question was? I got to go all the way back here and find it. 1 second. Davey had a question. Yeah, the British had to choose good food or colonialism. Please, somebody remind me what Davey's question was. I've completely forgotten it. Oh, how to fix a limey drink. 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 Okay. There are a couple ways to fix a limey drink. The most common, and unfortunately, the best way to do it is to add more ingredients. Add more sweetener, add more gin, add more whatever else you got. That's, of course, the way to do it. If you want to get real scientific with it, a little bit of baking soda inside of a large format drink will neutralize some of the acids in a drink. It will do that. If you put too much and you taste any of that baking soda, it will be horrible. But yes, as Bon Bon says, obviously more sugar will help. But another great way to do it is to add more bitters. If you can just find some bitters that don't have a lot of lime in them, Angostura bitters, hit that with it. The problem with it is once you do that, you're in some trouble. Bon Bon's asking about the rice trick. The rice isn't going to make it necessarily less limey. The rice is going to add starch, which is going to make it smoother. Another way you can do it, Davey here, is to add milk, curdle it, and then run it through a coffee filter, and you will certainly take out a lot of that lime. A lot of that lime is going to attach to the curds in the milk, and then if you run it through a coffee filter, you will end up with a clarified version of that drink, but certainly a less limey one. That's going to take some time, but that's what I think. So the best way to do it is just build more on top of that cocktail. The second best way to do it, if you are already if you're making it in a large format, is a little bit of baking soda, just a little bit. Do it pinch by pinch. Third, the better way tasting wise, the best way tasting wise probably is to do it by putting it through a coffee filter after you've added milk. And then the fourth way, as Stephanie husband said, just pour a new drink. That would be the fourth one. Thank you, Bon Bon. Milk, simply brilliant. Yes, if you just clarify it out, then you're good. If not, you know what? Just as the Germans say, Schlingen it. Just swallow it and get on with it. As always, that's it. Okay, now watch these things. Again, you guys have been so generous that now all your names don't fit on the credits, so I have to get them exactly right. So we're going to start now, and hopefully we get all the names in there. Watch these names on the credits. These guys are people keeping the bar alive. And we will see you. If not tomorrow, I most likely will see you tomorrow. But if not tomorrow, if things get crazy, we will be back at Dr. Kush's Exotic Drinks on the road Saturday. As always, bye-bye.